Welcome to the Cell Signaling Taste Lab with Skyler Wright and Ryder Long. I'm Ryder Long. Okay. Ryder, why don't you go into the materials of the lab?
Do the damn intro.
I did.
Do
Trust
it
me,
again!
it'll be fine.
Do it again!
So can you go into the materials then?
Yeah, I got you. So, the materials used were... Um, how do you spell the T? How do you say the T?
What?
I don't know what the T... It's Genema T. I remember.
Anonymity?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The materials we used were Genemia tea, 4 miracle berries, 1 gram of salt, 1 gram of broccoli, 1 gram aspartame, 10 M&Ms, 1 lemon wedge, 200 milliliters of apple cider vinegar, 5 sweet tarts, 1 gram. What the does that say?
What's the language, dude? What does it say?
Monosodium glutamate? Oh,
Sodium?
MSG.
MSG?
MSG. And 1 gram of MSG. Our procedure was to one taste each sample in order without any like the tea altering our taste buds or the miracle berries. Two was to rate them sour, bitter, salty, umami, or savory. Like from 0 out of 10 or 5. It was 10 out of 10. And then rinse your mouth out each time you had something, so you can actually fully taste it. And then after the initial taste, you should establish a baseline. Like after you've established everything, one person drinks tea for 3 minutes, um, and then
Swishes it.
yeah, they
Swishes
swish
it.
it. They swish it around their mouth. They don't swallow it. They keep it in their mouth. I mean, they can swallow at the end, but you don't have to. And then one person would chew 4 pieces of the fruit for 3 minutes, not swallowing, and then you just keep repeating the steps 1 through 3. 1 through 3. Um, just to get a different result to see what kind of things altered your taste buds, like what the tea and the berries did differently. Um,
Alright. Is that all? Is that all the materials?
yeah, and procedure.
Yeah. Okay. So TLDR, we swish tea in the mouth. We swish miraculum in the mouth, and then that's going to change what we're going to be tasting.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is how it went. So I think Ryder, you took the miraculum first, and I took the tea first
Mm-hmm.
on the first day.
Yep. Yep.
And first up is salt on our little testing record. So naturally, salt is salty. Salt was
Yes.
salty, and the control.
Yeah. So
And for
well, hold on. Should we give our rating for each before, after, and during, or after each of things?
sure, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So with I actually didn't write that down correctly. Oh, actually, I did. So for the control, I rated salt as 8 out of 10. It's salty. And what did you rate? You
Oh, I wrote 8 as well, and then I put like a 2 on bitter
2 on bitter.
salt.
It's salt.
Bitter.
They don't call it bitter.
I get. But it can still be. It's like a little bitter. It's salt.
Okay, smarty pants.
Um, and then
And then
after the tea, I rated it a 10 because it just felt like it was a lot more impactful than before.
that is something we should mention. For the first day we did this, I switched my tea around in my mouth for a minute
Only a minute.
because I was kind of like a guinea pig group. We didn't know exactly how long we should do that one for.
Yes.
So the effects were a little bit more dulled for me when it comes to tea.
Mhm. Yeah. So
So I gave up.
that was one issue that we ran into was like we didn't know exactly how long we should switch the tea in first. So for that first day we only did it for a minute, and then for the second day we did it for 3 minutes. The 3 minutes obviously having more of an effect than the 1 minute. So our results probably differ from that on the tea. I mean, because the for the Miraculin we did at the same time. So yeah.
So for after the tea, I rated mine as a 9 out of 10, opposed to his 10 out of 10. And after the Miraculum, which I did on the second day, I rated the salt as a 10 out of 10.
Me too. Me too. 10 out of 10 on that too.
Yeah. So
Yeah. On the
going in, we're seeing that Miraculum, or just in general, the tea and the Miraculum is looking like it's improving the taste of salt here,
boosting it.
looking at the salty herb.
Yeah, boosting
And next is the asparmate. That stuff tasted like butt.
it.
It was like an artificial sweetener.
Yeah.
Very sweet, sweeter than sugar.
It was really gross. It tasted like absolute dog. It was not good. But it was very sweet. Sorry.
So initially, I rated the sweet as a 10 out of 10 there, and a sour rating of 5 out of 10 because that stuff was not good. Ugh, it was gross.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For
So
me,
bad I remember the taste.
For me, on aspartame before I had any of the altering things, I rated a 10 on sweetness, and then a 1 on sweetness after the tea and after the Miraculin. It definitely diluted the sweetness for me. Like it was like just pretty much non-existent, especially with the tea. For me, like the tea completely removed sweetness. It was a little more impactful to me than the berries.
I also rated my sweet as a 1 out of 10 after my tea and a 2 out of 10 after the tea.
Yeah.
On sour,
On sour, I didn't get any sourness, but I get that.
it was kind of sour.
Yeah, I get
And
that.
after my Miraculum, I rated my sweetness as a 5 out of 10, and my sour as a 1 out of 10. So pretty consistent there.
I see that. Yeah. For broccoli, I could not pinpoint what flavor broccoli was. Like
I said mostly sour. Initially, I said 2 out of 10 on sour, 1 out of 10 on salty.
I said,
Salt broccoli isn't huge on flavor.
yeah, I said like a 2 on sour, like a 1 on bitterness, and like a little bit of savoriness, like 1.
I really didn't write any savoriness for most things except for the MSG.
Yeah.
But after my tea,
Mhm.
after the tea, I didn't see any change in the taste for broccoli. I think it was a little bit more sour, like a 3 out of 10 for sour there, but it's still a 1 out of 10 for salty.
That's what I said. I said like
Okay.
a little bit of extra sourness, which is weird to think about because later with the lemon wedge, the lemon like tasted sweet. Well, that's for the berries actually. Never mind. That's my bad. It's my bad. But for me on the broccoli, after the tea, I rated the sourness a 4, and the bitterness like a 2. And then after the Miraculin, a little bit of saltiness, more sourness, and a little bit of bitterness, just a little bit.
Yeah, I also, after my Miraculum, I said it was just a 5 out of 10 on sour, nothing else really going on there for the broccoli. So just a little bit more of a boost in flavor there. I didn't really notice any saltiness for it.
That's fair.
Next up is our sugar, which predictably is mostly completely sweet. I give that a 7 out of 10 for sweet.
True.
What did you give it?
7.
7 out of 10? Okay. I also gave it a nothing out of 10 for everything after my tea.
Yeah, me too.
It didn't taste like anything.
It was literally just like a thing in my mouth that had no flavor. Nothing at all. It was really weird.
I think after the Miraculum, it was a 5 out of 10 for sweetness, so diluting it a little bit.
I put a 1. Like, there was a faint hint of sweetness, but I did not taste anything more than that.
So kind of consistent with the asparmate, the artificial sweetener.
Asparmate.
Asparmate. What does it say? Aspartame.
Aspartame. Okay. For the M&Ms, I rated it like a sweetness 10. There's just a candy, it's chocolate. Look at me like that.
Because it's not a 10. I rated the M&Ms as a 6.
6.
because it's chocolate flavor. It's a chocolate flavor,
I guess so.
and with a
I
lot of sweetness.
I don't know. I just felt like it
After
was
the
really
tea,
sweet. And yeah, for me after
after
the
the
tea,
tea, I said that was a 2 out of 10 on sweetness, and a 2 out of 10 on saltiness also. So it was a bit like salted chocolate, like a
right?
more high cocoa content type chocolate.
I put a little bit of savoriness on my after tea, like because chocolate's savory and sweet. So like I couldn't really get the sweetness from it, so I put more of like a savory, like I put like a 2 on savory, and put like no sweetness. Because again, the tea like completely no sweetness for me at all
Yeah,
during any of
definitely
this.
seeing the result of me using the tea less. I used it for a minute. He used it for 3 minutes, so he's got like a definitely more drastic effect.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
after the Miraculum, I rated the sweetness as a 5 out of 10. So not as effective in diluting it, but still diluting it definitely.
Yep. Yeah, I said a 2 out of 10 and a 2 on umami, 2 for sweetness and a 2 for umami. Pretty consistent, I think, across the
True.
board.
True. Okay, next up was a lemon wedge, which was very interesting. So naturally, lemon. It's gonna be. I give it a 1 out of 10 for sweet and a 9 out of 10 for salt for sour. 1 out of 10 for sweet, 9 out of 10 for sour. Lemon wedges are sour, if you could guess.
Yep, yep. Let's see. For me, before I put a 6 on sweetness and a 10 on sour. Like lemons are sweet and sour, so
Sweetness, that's kind of crazy.
it's sweet. But after
No.
after the tea, no sweetness. No sweetness, extreme saltiness, and extreme sour. Like it was boosted to 1,000,000. It was so bad. Like
Oh,
for me, it was like being punched in the face from an actual physical lemon. Like he grew arms and punched me in the mouth. That's what it felt like.
that's crazy.
It was
I wasn't really feeling it. I more so felt it diluted. I said a 1 out of 10 after tea and a 2 out of 10. Or 1 out of 10 on sweetness, 2 out of 10 on saltiness.
mm-hmm. I think that's probably is because of
A 1 out of 10 on sweetness, a 2 out of 10 on sourness. So mostly diluted. Not much going on there.
probably because you only had it for a minute and I had it for 3. So different
Mm-hmm.
effects.
Oh, it still had an effect. It didn't have like a really changing effect.
Yeah. And then
So next up, this was the most interesting part of the whole experiment. Really, was the lemon wedge after Miraculum,
oh
which is where you really saw the effect of it. In that it changed the lemon so that it tasted really super sweet, like the best orange you've ever had,
that's awesome.
but a yellow.
Yeah. But a yellow. Yeah. It was like
Just like
eating a yellow. It was pretty good. It was super sweet. I tasted like almost no salt sourness. There was like a faint hint of sourness, but it wasn't like overwhelming like a normal lemon. And definitely nothing compared to with the tea. Like with the tea, it was so bad. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought I could actually drink that tea, and or not the tea, eat those berries and eat lemons for like a day. Like, it'd be good. It'd be tasty.
you poop a lot.
Well,
Yeah,
I
Mark
guess
actually told me
actually,
later that day that the berries actually acted as a natural laxative for him.
well, because Taylor
So
said that in class, and then we went and got Pennicue, and then you're not putting this in.
talking about how you pooping.
You can take a picture of me legitimately
Anyway,
photoshopped on the toilet.
next up was the apple cider vinegar, which tasted horrible to me. I never had apple cider vinegar before,
It's so
but I had it for
good.
the first time there, and I was like, I took a little sip, and I thought it was gonna be sweet or something, like a pumpkin pie kind of drink. But like I drank it, and it was so incredibly sour.
It has vinegar in
It
the
was so
name.
gross.
It's gonna taste like
And
vinegar.
then, oh, apple cider vinegar, crazy,
It was good.
crazy.
It's good.
Yeah, that was super sour for my control rating. I give that a 10 out of 10 on sour, sourer than a lemon.
I gave that a 10 on sour as well, and bitterness a 7.
Oh yeah, I also give that a 6 out of 10 on bitterness because that's just like poison, pretty much. My body was rejecting that.
Yeah. For me,
After,
for me after the tea, my sourness was an 8. It was a little less. but like still, the bitterness really kicked in, and like it sucked. It was a lot worse after the tea. So like after the tea, I like apple cider. Not after the tea. It was like all the flavors, like the intensity of the sourness and the bitterness was improved upon, and it was just more strong. It was really bad.
Yeah. I think by now my ratings have shown that the tea effect has mostly gone away. I give that a 10 out of 10 on sourness there, and 8 out of 10 on bitterness there. So really not much change. A little bit more bitter. I guess it's just like a different sample size. And after the Miraculum, I said that that was a 7 out of 10 on sweet, a 3 out of 10 on sour, and a 0 out of 10 on everything else. So it became more sweet, similar to how the lemon wedge acted.
Yeah. Uh, I think yeah. After the Miraculin, it was like completely diluted. Like I could drink that nonstop. It was like
It works.
almost completely gone. Seriously,
No reaction.
light work, no reaction. Yeah, like pretty much nothing was there anymore. I could drink it. I didn't feel it until I swallowed it. I could feel it in my throat. I couldn't feel it in my mouth, but I could really feel the stinging in my throat. But yeah,
Okay, next up is the Sweet Sharks, which I rated that as a 7 out of 10 for the sweetness and a 7 out of 10 for the sourness and our control. Good.
yeah, sweet shards.
Okay. Go ahead.
I can't look at sweet tarts, dude. If I look at sweet tarts, I think sweet shards.
Clean control!
So for my control, I put like a 3 on sourness, a 5 on bitterness, and like a 6 on sweetness. It was like a pretty, it's sweet and tart, so it's bitter, sweet, sour. You know.
You want to say what it was like after the tea?
Yeah. After my tea, uh, the sourness of it was stronger, uh, but like no sweetness. It just tastes like like a little sour, like just a little bit, like a 4.
That's also what I said. I said it was a 9 out of 10 on sourness and a 1 out of 10 on sweetness
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
after tea. So kind of consistent there. Unless you said the opposite.
No, I said the same.
Okay. And then after the Miraculum, it was a 8 out of 10 on sweetness and a 1 out of 10 on sourness. So yeah, consistent with changing sour flavors to sweet flavors,
Yep.
which was kind of
And
cool.
I also
Pretty
didn't
cool.
taste actually with the Miraculin. I didn't taste anything with that. I put zeros across the board. Like there was no sweetness for me. There was no
Mm,
salt or no sourness. There was just like nothingness in my mouth.
weird.
Kind of the same thing with the sugar.
I
Yeah.
see, I see. Okay, next up is the worst, the
Oh
MSG.
my god,
This up was the gross, gross.
so bad.
I think it's used in cooking to make stuff taste more savory, but we just had it pure off the finger. It was a savory 9 out of 10 for the control. It was gross. Probably a 10 out of 10 in retrospect.
I gave it an 8, but I would also agree with the 10 out of 10. No, I would not actually because with the Miraculin, oh my god. But anyway, for me, I give it an 8 out of 10 on my control group, a 5 out of 10 for my tea, and a 10 out of 10 for my Miraculin. Uh, with the Miraculin, it just tasted like 10,000 chickens had been stuffed in my mouth and just force fed into me. Like, it was so bad. So gross.
Okay. Anyway, I said it was a 9 out of 10 for savory after the tea and a 1 out of 10 on salty after the tea,
Mm-hmm.
with a 4 out of 10 on savory after the miraculum. So no, 10,000 chickens were not stuffed into my mouth and force fed into me.
No, it was
Weirdly
for me.
enough.
It was for me. It was so bad. It's disgusting.
Appreciate the word choice there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is our actual physical results there. Next up is the discussion of results. So For me, I wrote that the Miraculum seemed to have the most dramatic effect on taste. The tea only seemed to dampen flavors. That was for me.
I was the complete opposite. The tea for me was like, I think just because sour and bitter is more of a strong flavor than sweetness, that I felt more of an impact with the tea. Um, but I think the tea was the strongest, and it boosted sourness and bitterness. Uh, and with the Miraculin, it boosted sweetness, or not sweetness. It boosted saltiness and umami flavors, and mitigated sweetness.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
See.
I think the tea was definitely more strong for me than the Miraculin.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely not the case for me. So that's why I said that the Miraculum was the most drastic of the flavor changes, and that it was the only thing where something actually tasted like something different, and that the sour stuff ended up tasting a lot more sweet, which I found crazy when I tried the lemon for the first time.
That's true. It was pretty good though. I actually would eat those lemons if they tasted like that a lot more.
Yeah, you just eat strawberries,
True. I
and
like
you'd be
strawberries.
fine.
Strawberries are fire. So for me, in my conclusion, I wrote that taste is affected by your receptors and your ligands binding to. Why? What are you doing?
I was just checking time.
Oh, I wrote down that. One second. My ear is itchy. Okay, so I wrote down that your ligands and your receptors bind together to create taste. So what the berries and the tea were doing were altering the shape of ligands and receptors to not let them bond or to amplify their bonds. So with like, let's say the Miraculin, it really boosted MSG and saltiness. So it changed the shape to do that, and it really mitigated sweetness to, and it changed the shape to not let them bind together, therefore removing it from your body.
True. True. Is that the conclusion? Or am I tripping?
Yeah, that was a conclusion. That was a conclusion.
Okay. So we're concluded.
We are concluded.
We're concluded. That was our lab. It was cool. It was cool.
I did like this lab a lot. It was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it a lot. In case this is needed, these are my results, but you can't really see them.
Yeah, guys.
And it's also mirrored. Yeah.
Don't look at that. It's not mostly filled in.
Well, yeah.
Before we close up the recording, can you do that thing with the lamp in your face? I need footage of that.